Well, hello, everybody. I'm Jeffrey E. Berger, and wherever you're joining us from, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Holistic Mental Fitness Series, where myself and Mupo Entertainment believes mental fitness is the new physical health. So before I bring on my very, very special guest today, if I may, as a certified holistic wellness coach, I'm really humbled to be affiliated with an amazing group of humanitarian entrepreneurs who are aligned with the only holistic mental wellness company focusing on the microbiome. And people say, what is that? And that's a great question. It's the gut-brain-heart axis health, which I believe is a science that's disrupting the health and wellness industry today, especially when it comes to our mental health. Who out there hasn't experienced stress, anxiety, depression, or even have had suicidal thoughts? You know what? It's no exaggeration to describe stress, depression, anxiety, and burnout as epidemics, literally the black plague of our modern times. In this interview series, it's very near and dear to my own heart, sharing stories of others, opening up conversations from all areas of wellness to help people understand it's okay to talk about mental, physical, emotional health and share their experiences and become informed about alternative options that are out there that are safe and actually work. And this is what we're doing, is sharing that value to those individuals who are looking, because we provide real solutions to real people who are serious about getting their physical, mental, and emotional health from whatever state, whether it's a barely surviving to a thriving state again. You know, there is no physical health without mental wellness, and they're actually two sides of the same coin, and they are vital for each other and for our ability to reach our peak potential in this one life that we get to live. How we feel is not only in our head, hey, it's in our gut. So this is what we do best. So before I bring on my special guest, what I'd like to do is take a quick, short commercial break. As I said, this is a syndication TV series through Mupo TV, Mupo Entertainment. It can be viewed on Fire TV, Vimeo, Roku. It is also a downloadable app on your iPhone as well as the Android. And we will be right back with Miss Heidi Wilde. Okay, we are back with Heidi Wilde, who is joining us from Nashua, New Hampshire, originally from Waltham, Massachusetts, my old stomping grounds with the Regal Players back in the day when I was living in Massachusetts. She is retired from AT&T after 30 years in corporate arena and has stepped out on her own as a solopreneur. She has received a holistic wellness certification, is a health and wellness consultant, and a digital creator. And she does some amazing, amazing work on the digital platforms that are out there today. She's also a mom to son and a daughter who lives in London, and she just got back from London. And that's not London, Canada. That's London, New England, or I should say not New England, England.
Right.
All right. And Heidi is all about self-love, a self-care advocate, and a gut-brain-heart axis advocate as well. And her favorite quote is, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. And these are words from Henry James. Welcome, Heidi Wilde, to season 4 of Holistic Mental Fitness.
Jeff, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone out there.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Heidi. So before we jump into the questions, please share a little bit about who Heidi is outside of your business ventures.
Well, that's a big question, right? So I am in my 60s now. I've had a amazing life. I've gone through a lot of journey, and right now I am, of course, a proud mama, a grandmom, and I a lot of passions, a lot of interests, and I really believe that we can thrive and live until our way late years and feel amazing. And I'm passionate. I didn't always feel this way, and I've learned a lot of tools and resources that have got to me to a place where I feel amazing. And I would like to make sure that other people know that you don't have to feel aches and pains and brain fog and a lot of anxiety and stress. Although that's going to happen in our life, there are ways and tools that we can manage that effectively and have a beautiful life.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that and resonate from what you just said, because I was going through my own struggles health-wise, physically and mentally years ago, and that's completely changed. So, and part of that was due to corporate America. And share with us your experience with a career with AT&T for over 30 years, and share a little bit about that background, bringing us up into where you were able to retire, actually.
Sure. Thank you. Well, right after college, I didn't start corporate right away. I went into the mental wellness, mental health field. I was a psych-soc major. And I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but in Waltham, there was an institution called Metropolitan State Hospital, and I worked there for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
Helping chronic schizophrenics get out of the hospital into the community. I was the house manager of a community residence where I ran a program in the ward. Anyone could come and then lived in this community, teaching them life skills. So my career wasn't always corporate. Of course, as we move through our life, we have a lot of things we can do. After that, I went into a couple companies and then found Cellular One Boston, which is now AT&T, and a tremendous career, 33 years. I started in the late 80s, 87, and my daughter was 1, and I started as a temp because I wanted to get out of the house and work 1 day a week. And you know, I was always kind of had this entrepreneurial mindset and visionary trailblazer kind of thing. And I said, look, if you want to put a phone in my house, I don't want to work full time. They wanted me to come in. I said, but I'll work at home. And so I did telemarketing. I had no sales experience, but for 5 years, I was able to work at home way back in the 80s,
oh, wow.
when that wasn't even a thing, and created leads for the sales reps and whatnot. And then I've had a number of amazing roles: sales, sales management. I had a team for 7 years, operations, funnel and forecasting, supporting sales teams. My latest, and then I was out in the stores helping them. I ran a 10-year program for back to school in New England for all our colleges, and a lot of marketing, a lot of really cool things. And the last 5 years before I left, I worked with the first responder community in a webinar series called the Wild Webinar Series. And, the sales reps that I was supporting on a team were banging on doors and police and fire chiefs, and they were trying to save lives in communities. They didn't have time for salespeople. So I said, why don't we do a webinar and educate? So that was, we did on school safety, community safety, a lot of, that was really a lot of the most impact in feeling that I had while I was there. Although I had a tremendous career, those last 5 years of really getting out there in front of police and fire, who have a lot of stress and anxiety, of course, in their job.
Absolutely.
So that was really a lot of what my highlight was as well. A lot of great mentors,
It sounds it. Very, very fulfilling corporate life that many don't have. So that's very, very exciting. So as you mentioned about different stresses within jobs. So every job or business has its own stresses. How did that impact you as well as some of your workers through that corporate life?
Wow. With a tremendous career, for me came a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And of course, I am a, type A personality. I took things to levels that probably weren't necessary or that not many people take to. And there was a lot of stress and anxiety, a lot of conference calls, a lot of emails coming at me. I didn't eat well. I stood up between conference calls, didn't, choose a lot of the right nutritional food, didn't move my body. A lot of things kept go. I was over 200 pounds at one point, which we can talk about. And I also found an unhealthy relationship with marijuana for a little bit in there, which thankfully I came out of. But, I feel like everything we go through is a step towards the next, and it's a learning, and it makes us who we are today. And, no one sat me down and told me I needed to do a 12-hour day or work during vacation. There was, and I learned throughout that how to manage that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, for me, for corporate America, I was a workaholic, and it was constant go, 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 get the deadlines, unrealistic deadlines, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And it was very, very stressful. And you talk about how you did not, look at your health because you were on the go, you were eating bad foods, you were, whatever the case may be. And this brings us, and you said something about being over 200 pounds, and I want to bring this up because at some point you were introduced to the Holistic Mental Wellness Company. So share with us that introduction, because this is a picture of you, as you were winding down in your career as a corporate executive staff, and now you are out as a solopreneur and really promoting self-love and health. This is amazing, amazing transformation. I have to say that because I was pushing 230 pounds and I lost 60 pounds in my first journey.
Right. 203. So,
congratulations.
203, not 30, but yes, I was about
No. I was 230 pounds when I started my journey. And you mentioned you're just over 200 pounds here. So yeah, I mean, amazing transformation for sure.
Right. Well, we can talk a lot about the weight piece because I just want to say that it's a lot of strain on our heart, our knees, hips. I don't know if you experienced that. And a lot of it was emotional eating. And,
yes.
You asked about, so I was fortunate, and I think the universe or the higher power, whatever we want to say, works in magical ways. And I happened to be introduced to this holistic platform in late 2017. I left AT&T in the end of 2020. So about 3 years prior to me leaving my corporate job, I was introduced to this. And, Jeff, I thought I was fine, right?
Sure.
I didn't think that there was anything. I didn't even know how stressful I was going, what the stress was I was going through, the brain fog I had. So I didn't know what I didn't know. And what a friend introduced me, and, I said I wasn't going to, this is quite a story. I wasn't going to sleep. I wasn't going to do anything without sleeping on it. The next day I woke up, I went to the dentist, and the dental hygienist, who's typically my hygienist, was on maternity leave. So another one was there working on my teeth for half an hour, talking about her stress and anxiety. And I was like, okay, universe, I'm hearing you. So I got off the chair and said, what's your name? My friend is introducing me to this holistic platform that's all about helping with stress and anxiety and feelings of sadness. So she was all about looking to find out about it too. So when I started on the products, after about 10 days, and I was very consistent and very strategic. I wanted to know exactly what I was taking and not taking everything at once, so I would know how I felt when I took things.
Sure.
10 days in, I felt a little bit like things were happening here. And 3 weeks later, I had my yoga teacher take a picture of me. I said, something's going on. I feel like everything's connecting. I was tapped in, turned on, as Abraham Hicks says. And boy, after a couple of months, well, I was starting to lose weight. My eczema went away on my leg. My
Oh,
eyes
wow.
felt better. I took off my glasses in the gym and could see the wall. Not 100% perfect, but better. 3 weeks in, my belly was getting flatter. My cravings were going away. And, you know, this was a new company at the time that we hadn't even launched yet. So I said, you know, wow. And then I started really digging into the gut brain axis and the gut and how it impacts everything. It's the motherboard.
Right.
So
It is. It definitely is. So amazing transformation. And there are many who have been involved in educating themselves and starting to evaluate this platform that we were introduced to, you in 2017, me in 2018. And, you know, one of the things that I really embraced when I first was introduced to this was the component of self-love, which, well, I'm not even going to get into that from my aspect, but this is a huge component for you, self-love, of which loving yourself is huge with this holistic mental wellness company. So it starts there with loving yourself. So share with our viewers what that's been like within your own journey, because there's been obviously, as I said before, a major transformation from that stress, anxiety, burnout state where our minds and our bodies are not really communicating. And today you have moved into such an amazing space. And your heart is so big and so loving because you want to help other people out there who are searching. Because I said earlier, we're looking for those that want to have a change in their life, because most people don't, and that's okay. But we're looking for the ones that want to have help. So share with that.
Well, I wasn't ready until I was ready. So I didn't want the help either. And then it got to a point where I really wasn't happy inside of myself, and I wasn't taking care of myself. I had my relationships with my former husband and my children were affected, and everything in my life. So I started really taking a look at things. Actually, it was when I turned 50. I'm 64 now. And my mother had passed when she was 50. So I started really taking a look at my life and how I was, you know, what impact do I want to have on myself first? And self-love is not selfish. So I wasn't putting myself first. I was looking outside of myself for answers. I was, you know, extending and just being so exhausting to others without me. So self-love is everything. And I truly believe that I can't effectively love or do anything for others until I've done it for myself first.
Exactly.
What does that mean? That means, you know, I'm very careful about who and how, what I put in my body, what I put in my mind, how I spend my time, how I surround myself, what my environment looks like and feels like. And I really check in. It's all about awareness and, you know, feeling and not saying yes right away, taking time to check in and see if it's something that I want to say yes to. So things like that.
And it's okay to say no too, because that was one of my big problems is I couldn't say no. I wanted to please. And it's like, no.
A reformed people pleaser society.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yes, and you know, when we create those boundaries, and the boundaries happen within ourselves first, I believe, right? And then,
yes.
And you can respond no in a very kind way, you know,
sure.
Thank you for thinking of me, or let me, you know, think about that, make sure that it's right for both of us, whatever the circumstance is. So you can certainly, in saying no, or not saying yes when we don't want to is so self-respectful.
Exactly. And it's You know, and I've learned to grow an appreciation for that. And as you said earlier, it's okay. It's okay to do that. And it's not being selfish. Um, and it's embracing our own, you know, our own mindset and our own beliefs, if you will. So thanks for sharing that, because that should be part of our journey from the very beginning. And we're really not taught those things until some of us have been fortunate to learn that after the fact. But you know what? You were a manager in this major communications corporation, and you were out there also training and educating and helping. But you know, since then you've left. You've become certified as a holistic wellness coach, and share with us the difference of, you know, the corporate AT&T training coaching versus this holistic wellness coaching aspect of it. There's got to be a significant change between the two dichotomies. And how is that going for you today? And if you can share some of your testimonials of some of the people that you're coaching with, that would be awesome.
Oh, of course. Well, when you're in corporate and you're in sales and you're, you know, or have any job, it's really performance based. And in sales, it's production based, of course,
Correct.
and it's not a voluntary position.
Right.
Typically, you don't make sales or you don't meet your quotas, you don't work there eventually. And with what we're doing as, you know, building a team or as a mental wellness coach, people are, it's a voluntary army. Even as clients, you know, people have to want to take steps, and it
Right.
doesn't have to be big steps. It can be little steps ongoing to improve their health and their life. So that's a major, and I really believe that a lot of people don't know how to start or what to do. They've come into this place of habit and lifestyle that they know. And they also, sometimes people feel it's like, oh, you know, to get from point A to where I want to go is so overwhelming that I'm not going to do anything. So, and that is,
or they're afraid to do something.
Yeah, because I mean, we're habitual humans, right?
Right. So, right. And they're not willing to get out of their comfort zone. So,
Jeff, I remember the first time I did an elliptical, I could only do 10 or 15 minutes. It was exhausting. I was in pain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I started my journey, I started with riding a bike. I couldn't get past 10 minutes, you know, 230 pounds on a bike, you know, so, but that's changed for you today, and it's changed for me today. And it is possible. You mentioned you look amazing for 64, you said.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be 69 in a couple of months. So there is, you know, as I say, getting old doesn't have to suck. It's a matter of knowing what you can do outside of a broken system that we're in, being taught in that, well, when you get old, everything starts to fall apart. Well, no, it doesn't have to. It's right. Falling apart because of what we're being taught and led to do on that other side of the fence. You need to jump to this side of the fence, or, you know, just get a balance of information because it's not out there. So this is the Holistic Mental Fitness series here, and we talk about gut health. We talk about brain health, and it's really about waking up your brain. And this is something that I do every single day. I never go without my, you know, my happy juice, my happy mind pack. I call this Happy Mind Pack. It is the happy juice on steroids. It's all, you know, about the combination of cutting edge nootropics with potent adaptogens. And it really helps take you through a heightened motivation, increased focus, mental energy, and overall state mind, really to the next level. And people can't really understand that until they actually try it, you know. And these are amazing plant-based products that are really helping support, you know, as I said earlier, motivation. And it's also brain health, getting the gut to talk to the brain, neuron regeneration. We've got focus and memory, mental energy and endurance, and it really promotes a healthy, positive mood. And on top of all of the other benefits, those are just some of the highlights of the benefits that comes from this. And as I say, this is definitely better than taking Lexapro, Paxil, Zoloft on a daily basis. So with that, I'm going to share a quick commercial. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. And so, Heidi, share with our viewers what your take is on, you know, doing this on a daily basis. What has it done for you?
Jeff, did you see that woman that was dancing?
Yes.
That's how I feel. So
awesome.
For me, it's really helped my mind get clear, the brain, tapped in, turned on. I remember why I walk in and out of a room. And one of the biggest also impacts that I have seen in my life is the reduction in stress and the way I respond to stressful situations. I can give you a couple of examples. My computer, I went to my son's to visit, and I put my computer in a bag and my pillow. I bring my pillow along because I was spending an overnight, and I put some almond milk in a container that was shut. Got there, the almond milk container hadn't been shut. My pillow was soaked. My computer was sitting in a puddle of milk.
Oh, wow.
And, this was my Apple computer, and you know, I pulled it out, and I was with my son, and as we were flipping it over and looking on Google to see what to do, my son looked at me and said, "Mom, why aren't you flipping out?" And this was 2 months ago. And I could tell you several examples, but when he noticed that, he's like, you're so calm. And you know what? I knew that I had everything backed up. You know, was it a bummer? Yes. However, if I flipped out, it wouldn't change the situation.
Exactly.
And, however, things roll off my shoulder like differently than they used to. So many examples. I lost my pocketbook in a bathroom in Central California. I left it there when I was going to the ladies' room, and found out later when we were up north that, you know, as we were driving, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, my niece was very upset. Hey, oh my gosh. And you know what? Everything was in this, like the license, the credit cards.
Sure.
My car, the ticket to Logan Airport to get my car out, everything. And, you know, it was like, oh, I was going to call my son to pick me up. And, you know, it would have worked out. They later found my purse. Someone turned it in.
Oh, awesome.
Those are things that I noticed, Jeff, in my life that in the past, I would have lost my head. And the feeling I have when I lose my head and like freak out, as opposed to, you know, and there's not times that I don't stress. However, it's a level that's so different.
Yes.
And I can much more effectively manage it and respond to it as opposed to react to it in this fight flight.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a very good example. And same for me, because I came to that realization 2 years into, you know, being on this platform, and I had gone home, and I do have a twin brother, and this whole thing has taken me from reaction mode to evaluate mode. And it came to fruition for me when I was in the kitchen and my brother reacted to a situation, and I just like dropped my mouth and I looked and I said, oh my God, that used to be me. I would react and my face would be all red and I'd be pounding on the table and be really, really mad. Where today it's like, okay, take a step back. What's going on? How do I look at this? What am I supposed to learn from it? You know, how do I walk away type of thing? So huge, huge, huge with for people who are dealing with stress and anxiety, a major, major change. So we're kind of we're close to the wrap up here in the interview, and I do have 2 more quick questions for you. So if there were one piece of advice that you could give anybody that's watching, who is looking for that glimmer of hope, because there's so many out there looking for that glimmer of hope, whether it's from a personal or a professional perspective, what would that be?
Oh, I can only offer one. Well, I'll tell a couple of things. First of all, learn to sit in your feelings. I learned to sit in my feelings and embrace them, not judge them, let them process. Feelings are a beautiful part of our human experience. And for the longest time in my life, I didn't honor them or feel them. Yes. And learn tools. We have so many tools. Our breath is the biggest. And to learn to breathe and, you know, take good care of yourself, mind, body, soul. Watch what goes into your body. Learn about nutrition. Move your body 30 minutes a day, even walking, if that's, you know, find something that you enjoy.
Sure.
And, be kind to yourself. Treat yourself the way you treat your dog and your best friend.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So last question is, where can people get a hold of you?
Well, I can be reached at Heidi at HeidiWilde.com. That's my name right here. Where am I? Here.
Right there.
Heidi at HeidiWilde.com. I have a free ebook that I wrote on the surprising link between gut health and self-talk. Self-talk and gut health. I also am on TikTok under Heidi Wilde, Instagram, Heidi J. Wilde. Facebook is on the bottom there. Heidi Salzberg Wilde is my Facebook name. So connect with me and I'll support you any way I can.
Awesome. That is fantastic. So Heidi, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be my special guest today. You brought so much value. I can't believe it. And yes, I can believe it, because that's just the type of person that you really are.
Thank you.
And you are definitely going to be changing the world with so many other amazing people that are out there doing the same thing and bringing awareness about our own mental health through the Holistic Mental Wellness Company. And I have always really, through my journey, have developed that we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, because finances are #1 stress for pretty much everybody in the world. And lastly, what I'd like to say is, remember this: mental fitness is the new physical health. So thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Jeffrey, thank you for what you're doing as well for the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.